Hello, welcome to the Crates Motel. My name's Conan, I'm the concierge. Today I'm going to show you another old school trick where you can add swing to your chops. Let's jump in. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the process of chopping up a beat or anything like that. I've got a beat in here and I've also got a loop with like a full sample loop as well, because I want to show you on both. Now, whilst Dilla didn't invent this technique, he is certainly the person who kind of, I would say, first brought it to the forefront. Or certainly he's the first person I heard really use it on tracks and use it to really, really good effect. But people had been using it previously to that, but Dilla was definitely the guy that made it famous, I guess is the easiest way to say it. Basically what you're doing is you're taking your chops, you're chopping up a beat, let's say this beat here. Okay, standard boom bap beat sampled off an old soul record. And rather than just playing it at the speed that it's supposed to be at, for instance, if I press play here on my MPC 2500, okay, so I've written that in on 1, 2, 3, 4, standard stuff, nothing out of the ordinary. But what Dilla started doing with actual loops, because he was doing this with beats already, he was kind of doing that whole thing where it was either a bit early or a bit late, that kind of swung feel. What he started doing with loops was changing the speed of the actual loop. And what would happen? You're not changing the speed of the actual sound, you're changing the speed of the actual speed, the speed of the sequence would be the easiest way to describe it. At the moment, this sequence is at 86 BPM. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the speed of the sequence, not the sound. I'm leaving the sound at exactly the same speed. I'm just changing the speed of the sequence. So 86 BPM at the moment. So at the moment, that's now at 92. So I've sped up the sequence just by a couple of BPM, 6 BPM to be exact. Let's take it back to 86 again. Okay, so that's just sitting where it's supposed to sit. But if we take it up to 92, you'll hear that because I've sped up the sequence, it's actually kind of chopping the actual chop off, and it's only playing a shorter part of the chop. So therefore, you've got the hi-hat in there, and it's actually kind of giving the effect that it's moving the hi-hat, therefore creating a bit of swing. Now I'm going to take it to its extreme now. I'm going to gradually speed it up even more. So now you've completely changed the emphasis of where the hi-hat would normally sit, because normally your drum beat is going dun tat tat dun tit tat, but now it's going dun tit tat dun tit tat. So it's almost like a swing, like a shuffle feel. So that's taking it all the way up to 110 BPM. So I've sped it up quite a lot there. But you can hear that it just creates a swing with the actual chop, not by changing the speed of the chop or by having to chop things up and moving around, etc., but literally just by changing the speed of the sequence. And so there you can hear that it's slowed right down. So basically really what he's doing is instead of going, it's and we all know that there are actually Dilla records that do that halfway through the song. It will change that speed. What he was doing was he would have a sequence say running at 86 BPM, then a sequence running at 92 BPM, and he would switch to the different sequence. That's how I would do it anyway. I'm not Dilla, and I'm not sitting here with Dilla right now, so I can't confirm that's what he did, but that's certainly what I would do. I would just write a sequence at a different speed and then switch between sequences. So what happens when we do it with an actual loop, a sample as such? So I've got a sample here. Let's just switch that. Okay, so normally as it would run, I've actually got this written into a sequence. So as you can hear, it's just playing it as normal. So just playing it normal speed, that's at 100 BPM. But now if I start introducing that style where I'm swinging it slightly, so it's got that shuffle feel. You see, so it's going dum di da dum di da rather than dum di da dum di da. Creating a shuffle. So again, normal. So there you have it. Really, really simple technique that I would say was made famous by J Dilla. But as I said, he didn't invent it. There were certainly people doing it before that. I certainly remember people in the early 90s actually moving the sequence speed so that it would create a bit of a swing. And this was happening in house music as well, and in jungle, drum and bass, that kind of thing. But Dilla definitely made it famous. You know, there are certain tracks that I can think of that I can't think of the names of, that he did that in the middle of the track, or he would start the track with that kind of shuffle feel, and then it would go to the normal 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 shuffle. So again, just Dilla showing how much of a genius he was, being able to take that kind of drummer mentality to the way that he would use his chops. And that's not just taking single sounds. I mean, obviously you can do it with single sounds, you can do it with a kick, a snare and a hi-hat. You can create a shuffle really, really easily. But the things that you can do when you take an actual sample or an actual drum beat loop rather than individual sounds, and doing that, changing the sequence speed to create kind of very small shuffles. You can do it a really, really small amount just to create a little bit of a head nod shuffle to your chop. So you're not really just stuck in the loop, excuse the pun, of having the drums exactly as the drummer played them on the original record that you're sampling. By chopping it up and just changing the speed of the sequence very, very slightly, you can actually introduce a bit of swing into it and kind of give it its own kind of feel, which wasn't there on the original. So thanks for watching. This is the Quakes Motel. I'm the concierge. Till next time.
Concierge.